Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskiy, in fact, responded very guardedly to the offer for talks by Russian President Vladimir Putin, but would not commit to any ceasefire as a precondition for the negotiations, is what Zelensky has said. Take a look.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskiy responded guardedly on Sunday to a proposal from Russian President Vladimir Putin of rapid, direct talks aimed at ending the war. Putin made his proposal in a televised statement from the Kremlin on Saturday, more than 3 years after he sent Russian forces to invade the smaller neighbor. U.S. President Donald Trump, who says he wants to be remembered as a peacemaker, called Putin's proposal, quote, a potentially great day for Russia and Ukraine. Trump broke from his predecessor, Joe Biden, in dropping a demand for an immediate Russian withdrawal from Ukraine, and instead pressed both sides to agree to a temporary ceasefire.
I want a ceasefire
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
Zelensky and other Western allies resisted this, saying a pause in fighting would allow Russia to redeploy forces for further attacks. But they relented in the face of U.S. pressure and accepted the idea of a temporary truce. The Ukrainian leader said it was, quote, a positive sign that the Russians have finally begun to consider ending the war, but that, quote, the very first step in truly ending the war is a ceasefire. He said, quote, we expect Russia to confirm a ceasefire, full, lasting, and reliable, starting tomorrow, May 12th, and Ukraine is ready to meet.
It will focus on how to build and guarantee real and lasting security. Key points, 30-day ceasefire backed with sanctions.
On Saturday, Zelensky and other EU leaders announced their support for a 30-day ceasefire as a first step.
There is this ceasefire for 30 days proposal that is very clearly now on the table.
It's unconditional ceasefire for 30 days.
Putin, however, suggested that any ceasefire was a matter for negotiations. He said could take place in Istanbul later this week. The Kremlin chief said he did not rule out both sides agreeing in Turkey on, quote, some new truces, a new ceasefire, but one that would be the first step toward a, quote, sustainable peace. Putin said Russia had proposed several ceasefires, including a moratorium on striking energy facilities, an Easter truce, and most recently a 72-hour truce during celebrations marking 80 years since Soviet victory in World War II. None of those were agreed between the two sides, and each accused the other of continuing to attack in force during the supposed truce periods.